right, a very good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us. This is your world, so I hope that you've had a better start to the day. And of course, like we said earlier on, today it's all about ending period poverty in the country. And of course, we all understand that over 65%, and this is of women and girls, do not have access to feminine hygiene products, and that is sanitary towels, tampons, all those things involved, all right? But of course, we've also seen the various innovative ways to actually create sanitary towels that will help women and girls, and that is during that time of the month that is sometimes most often approached in very harsh tones. So today we actually want to focus on the innovative ways that we can end period poverty in the country. And of course, I'm pretty sure you have seen and you know this amazing students from St. Paul's University who did amazing things, and of course also won the Halls prize that is $1 million. And that is through their innovative ways, that is for creating sanitary towels using, get this, banana fiber. I know most of you are like, okay, wait, what? How is that possible? Well, stick around until the end of the conversation, of course, to understand more on the same and that how that happened. So I have two of them with me right here on set. So I hope that you've had a good day. Asante sana for coming by today. We have Kaylee as well as Brian Ndungu as well here on the set today. You've been well, Mem Kasalama?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, how does it feel to actually win the prize? I'm going to start with you, Brian. How does it feel?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's also overwhelming.
All right.
I'm very happy.
What do you mean overwhelming? Like,
No,
I will be walking around this town and
yeah, like handling that, like you have $1 million somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at you and just sees money.
Yeah.
All right, and for you, Kaylee, how has the experience been? Congratulations, you guys did us proud, not only us as a Kenya, as a country, but really, as Kenyans in general, you did us proud. So how are you handling the pressure? Do you feel the same amount of pressure as him?
Yeah, the pressure is still the same.
Okay.
It's super amazing.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming, but then it's a dream come true for Ecobana. We've been working so hard for this and looking forward for this moment. So finally, we can impact lives.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, have people started telling you M-Pesa? My M-Pesa number is...
Sadly, yes.
Haya yangu ni 07. Just kidding. Just kidding. But let's just address this, sad, serious issue in the country, and that is what we're talking about. Millions of girls and women are not able to access sanitary towels, and that is just sad to hear, because in this day and age, we expect at least some of these basic needs that, this is a natural phenomenon, right? People need to have access to some of the basic needs that is needed during that time of the month. But again, millions of girls and women are not able to access that. So could we just help, first of all, get to understand the situation on the ground, right? I'm pretty sure you've done your research before you came up with, the sustainable sanitary towels. I'm pretty sure you've done your research and get to understand what exactly is it on the ground. So let me just start with you, Kylie. What was that like?
Okay, so after doing our social mappings, we found out that the main problem that you have in Kenya is accessing sanitary pads, affordable sanitary pads. And when they're there, they're not available for each and every person.
All right.
There's some places you go, you can find the sanitary pads. So people are just opting for other things other than sanitary pads.
Yeah.
And through that, we felt like this is something that you can change.
Sure.
This is something that you can come together as a team, look at some of these issues and come to address such things.
Right.
The other things we are also looking in terms of, apart from the period poverty and period shame, we are also looking in terms of how well can we serve people while also helping in environmental issues, conserving our environment, not destroying it, because you'll find that right now we are having a lot of plastics lying around, and most of them you'll find that it's from pads actually. So we're trying to combat the issue of plastics as well as combat the period poverty.
That's true. That's true. Killing two birds with one stone. Actually, three.
Yeah.
When you think about it. And of course, the more the world is actually moving towards sustainable ways that we can conserve the environment, but still, move on with our lives. And of course, one of the things is just talked about majority of what we're seeing, and as far as plastic is concerned, sanitary towels. And it's true. I mean, there's a time I saw a picture of a bird with a sanitary towel. It's big, and it was just a very sad picture to see. And we also see majority of young girls, especially in primary schools, also being affected. I mean, millions of these girls are not able to go to class for at least 4 days in a month, because it is that time of the month, and they do not have access to sanitary towels. We've seen other ways that people have come up with, and that is on the reusable cloth. And again, we have seen this work, although there's a bit of questioning when it comes to the hygiene, side of the same. So when talking to these young girls, and of course there's also a lot of shame when it comes to the same, the question is access, right? And you might think about 50 shillings and be like, 50 shillings, everybody can afford it. But from your analysis and what you're talking to these girls, aside from just access, what exactly is it that they're dealing with?
Okay, we noticed that girls really don't want like charity. Like every time you come to them, you just give them sanitary pads. You give them sanitary pads.
Right.
We noticed they want something that they can afford themselves, something that they wouldn't struggle a lot to get. So that's why, first of all, we decided to come up with Ecobana, our sanitary pads, which are very cost effective. At the same time, we saw it's high time that we empower the ladies and girls and show them that their future is quite literally in their own hands. Because if you don't do that, and all of us come from a girl or a lady.
That's true.
Yeah,
I mean, our mothers, right?
Yeah.
And I like what you're saying, because majority of the times when you think about what you can gift to a young girl, and especially in areas where they cannot afford to get a sanitary towel, what you're saying is they're saying they don't want charity all the time, to be given this, to be given sanitary towels. That is interesting. So then what do they want? Do they want knowledge how to make it? What exactly do they want? Because someone might think that I'm just doing a good thing by offering sanitary towels to these young girls in terms of helping them. But then again, you're saying, but really that is not what they want all the time. So what exactly do they want?
Kenyans are really bright people, and we've interacted with sharp minds, and they're like, don't give us the fish. Show us how to fish it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what Ecobana is doing. You wouldn't want, like, every time I'm coming to your house, I'm just bringing you sanitary pads, like you. The aspect, like, I can see, like, you cannot afford it or do anything to that situation. So we've created Ecobana and make sure that, well, it's there in the market, the price is different, something that you can afford, something that after buying, at the same, some people are like trying to juggle. Do we buy bread or do we buy the sanitary pad?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and most of them are going for the bread. So that's why they're sorting for other methods of preventing the menstruation. So for us, we say that we must put this thing in the market and try as much as possible to make sure that anyone in any part of the country can access it.
All right. Okay, and of course, there's the other question of fine. Most of the time, we're just seeing these young girls and women in these communities who, again, are not able to access sanitary towels. Most of them is you're just being given whatever is available. And majority of the times, you'd find that you take it because you do not have, any other alternatives. But then again, while understanding how important it is to have access to this much needed basic needs, basic commodities for women, also it's different for different people, right? I'm sure you've had a lot of people say, tampons work really well for me, but pads do not work for me. So then when talking to this young girls in terms of what really works for them, what exactly are they saying? From the material all the way to how it looks, to the size, all those things, comprised.
So the young girls that you've talked to, they are so embracing the product and they're giving us really positive reviews on it. First of all, when you check at the size and when you try to weigh it, it's so light. and so there is no much issue when it comes to discomfort. Also, you'll find that our pads, we have not used any chemicals in them. They are also scent free, meaning you won't be having the issues of allergies and all the things involved when you're experiencing your periods and after that. You'll also find that most of these ladies, we're not saying that it's bad to give free pads. No, we're not saying that. I mean, we totally advocate for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just saying, give us something else, like that is knowledge and all those things.
Yes, so we are actually advocating for that. But then we're saying, when you're giving that girl the pad, kindly, if you can help her understand how to use it, the duration of using it, you'll find that some people are just prolonging the time span of which you're supposed to be changing your pads, and when that happens, then it also brings other health issues and all that. So we are trying to also curb. If you're giving out a free pad, kindly also talk to them.
All right.
Yeah.
In terms of all those things, I mean, we've seen, you know, cases of, you know, exchanging, you know, sanitary towels for sex, which is just sad. And then, of course, that leads to teenage pregnancy. And then, you know, it's like a ripple effect. And we really, really understand how detrimental that can be, you know, to a girl's life. Because, again, most of them actually drop out of school or, again, they become stigmatized when they go back to school. I just want to understand then the idea behind the banana fiber. First of all, what do you say? The banana fiber, you know?
Yeah.
Of course, some of us will just picture the banana and just think, so which part of the banana exactly do you use the leaf? Like, what exactly is it? And I just want to understand the idea behind it. Like, first of all, who just came up with the idea, and where did the idea come from? And why exactly the banana and not maize stalk, for example? Because from where I come from, we do a lot of maize, yeah? So what is the idea, first of all, behind it? Where did the idea stem from?
Okay, the idea came from our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Lennox Omondi. While we were freshmen back in St. Paul's University, we had this urge of like creating an impact to the society or doing something different aside from what we are studying. So we had other projects actually. So, and we started going for competitions and like developing the project. We first started with enactors, but failed terribly. That was in 2020, we failed. 2021, we also failed again. Another different project. Then during it was time the national results were being announced, and the cabinet secretary said that some girls, I can't remember the county, never attended the exams because they're on their periods.
That's true.
And they never afforded the pads to go to do the examination. So Lennox was like, no, why is this happening? So he started researching, and then he came and told us that I can see there's something somewhere we can do. So he brought us on board. We accepted and started working on it, researching, and here we are.
Okay.
Yeah, we are specifically using the stem of the banana trunk.
The banana, the stem. So then do you go to so you go to the shamba, you tafuta banana, do you get the stem and then you dry? Like, what exactly is it?
Okay, so after, you know, first of all, the banana has like to be ready, and then first you harvest the fruit. Then after harvesting the fruit, now you use the trunk. Now we get the trunk. Then the trunk is processed into a machine where it produces the banana fibers.
Yes.
So we have now to dry these banana fibers.
All right.
Then after the drying and everything, there is another machine that makes it now to the pulp. We created the pulp.
Okay, so let me have this, because this is the where you begin. So you harvest the, I mean, after, like you're saying, you know, the fruit, you know, the banana is ready, right? You dry it, and then this is what you are left with, right? And then, so after you dry this, and then after a while, what happens? That the machine does what exactly? Because now the colors are different. Like this is this color, but then we also have that one that is what, white? Yeah.
So, you know, that is where the idea is.
Okay. I mean, and we do not want to sell your idea. We just want to understand.
Okay, yeah, there's some things.
Yes.
There's some things we do. There are some processes that we have, but it all involves the aspect of not being biodegradable, the aspect of conserving the environment. So there's some things that we do. Then now from that we make the pulp.
Okay.
This is now what is usually inside our sanitary pads.
I'm really curious to see how that feels. So what is it like? Yes. Okay, so this is what you get.
Yeah.
All right. So where exactly do you place this? Because we all know how a sanitary towel is, right? There's the upper part, and then there's the middle layer, and then there's, you know, the outer layer where, again, you have to make sure that there's no cases of leakages, right? So for this one.
So we are, after that, we're going to make it pulp from that stage. So it will actually look like cotton.
All right.
And we'll be placing it in the middle layer.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
This is in the middle
So
layer.
the lower layer, it's just to prevent the leakaging
Yes.
and all that. And then the top layer is for comfort and all that. So this is the absorption part.
All right. Okay, I see. This is okay.
And if you can look at that,
this is
it
very
can also
different,
like
yes.
make trays. It
Oh
can
yeah,
make a
the
lot
egg
of
trays.
things,
Okay, yeah. Because when I touch this, I feel the material is more of the egg trays.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're saying this is the one that is placed in the middle,
Yes.
in the middle
After
layer.
some processes also.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
just like
and
that.
of softening it. Yeah.
course not. Yeah, because that's what, this will be too hard.
Yeah,
you know,
true,
this will
yeah.
be too. This will be too hard for a person. All right. So then the question might be on the upper layer. What exactly do you use? Because remember, like you mentioned, which is very, very important for all the women and girls watching us today.
Yeah.
Comfort is key.
Comfort is
Yeah.
key. So on the top layer, we're using cotton, actually.
Yeah.
It's a cotton cloth. So we are covering it with cotton, which is also biodegradable. So in short, after the process, everything, we want it to biodegrade and all that.
That's true.
Yes,
That's
so
true. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that is what you get. All right. And of course, the disposing aspect of the same becomes very key because remember, like we said, majority of the things that we see, sanitary towels among them. And of course, when it sort of like disintegrates, it does not get, it doesn't decompose,
Yeah.
and thereby creating a lot of chaos, especially when it comes to the environment. I might want to put us to test, but I think we'll do that after the break in terms of, you know, the leakages to see how well it absorbs, because I think that is one of the things that also majority of the people will be concerned about. Given that this is something that we've never heard about, this is the first time that we are experiencing it. How many tests did you have to do just to make sure that it actually works?
Okay, we did a lot of tests.
The size
We
is
did
it all.
a lot.
Yeah.
Because we are even, since in university, it's actually easier for us to get reviews from people. So we had a few friends, plus me included. We've been doing the test as we see. Is this working? How do you feel? Is it comfortable this way?
Yeah.
Is it leaking? So it's been a process and a process and a process.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you used it yourself?
Yes, I've been using it.
Okay, all right. You'll tell us the experience more when we come back from the break. But it's all about ending period poverty in the country. And of course, there's so many innovative ways that have come up. We have seen the reusable pads. We now have the, you know, the organic, right? Is it organic? Is it okay to say
Yeah,
organic?
yes,
Organic,
okay.
yes, used from banana fiber, plus so many other innovative ways, you know, that we have seen, especially when it comes to the sanitary towels. But of course, we keep asking you today, and that is, what can we do to end period poverty in the country? Once again, what can we do to end period poverty in the country? There you have the question of the day. The hashtag to use is your world. Feel free to engage with us on our social media platforms. That is on Facebook and Twitter. That is at NTV Kenya, but also feel free to tag me as well at Lubembe_. We need more to come. When you come back from the break, stay with us. This is your world. All right, welcome back. Glad you're still with us. Of course, the show is Your World, and today it's all about ending period poverty in the country because, like we said when we started the show, millions of girls and women do not have access to feminine hygiene products. And of course, we're talking about sanitary towels in this case. Of course, during that time of the month where unfortunately, there's still a lot of stigma associated with the same. Again, a lot of girls, you know, miss out. That is 4 days of their school days, and that is because they are, you know, on their periods at that time. So then, what are some of these innovative ways that have come up to make sure that at least young girls and women can still have access to sanitary towels? Again, we are talking to St. Paul University students who, again, we all know, all right? Like they said earlier on when we started the show, everybody looks at them and just thinks money. All right, and of course we have Kaylee Ogola as well as Brian Ndungu here in studio to just help us really understand what are some of the ways that we can do to end period poverty in the country in a sustainable way, all right? And of course through their sanitary towels, like we said earlier on, that are made from banana fiber. I know you're curious, I know you have so many questions for them. Feel free to direct them our way. The numbers are down on your screen. If you want to call in live and ask any question that you have, again, feel free to do so. But if you want to interact with us on our social media platforms, again, feel free to do so at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter. And feel free to tag me as well on Twitter at Lubembe_Winnie. The question that we're asking you today is, what can we do to end period poverty in the country? All right, what can we do to end period poverty in the country? Keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie. Remember the hashtag to use on Twitter is your world. And of course, let's discuss different ways that we can do to end period poverty in the country. All right. And of course, earlier on, I asked Kylie if she's used it. She says absolutely yes. But Kylie, at the same time, there's the question of safety, you know, because again, it's a very sensitive time, first of all, of the month, but you also want to make sure that you're using a product that is not only comfortable, because comfort is key, but safe at the same time. So then when it comes to the hygiene aspect of the same, right, and safety, bacteria, you know, all those things that happen or that can happen during that time of the month. Has it been tested? Has it been, you know, just give us all the details in terms of the safety aspect of the same.
So when we are doing our production, we ensure a maximum hygiene process. Okay. So in each and everything that you do, in each and every step, we maximize on the hygiene purposes. And yes, that is why I have been able to use it. I mean, it's hard to use something that you're not sure of. Something that you think that will bring danger to you, it won't be advisable to use, but I've been using it because I trust it. All right. And number two, I mean, we are the ones manufacturing. I'm involved in the process of manufacturing, so I'm sure this is safe for me to use it.
All right. Okay. How long, what kind of tests did you have to do just to make sure that it is safe? Because we've had a lot of women complain about of course, the smell, first of all, and then some sanitary towels that are not able to hold, you know, in for a while, right? So then, of course, that's in the process creates a bit of infections here and there.
So you'll find there are issues to do with itchiness, odor, and all that. You'll find that they come in when you're using scented products and when you're using chemical products. So for ours, instead of using chemicals to sterilize it, we're using UV light.
All right.
Yes. So when you use that, all those problems are out of the way.
All right.
Yes.
So bacteria gone,
bacteria
all those things
gone.
killed, you know, and all those things. But of course, the question that someone might ask is, fine, we really understand how, you know, the process that it took, the idea, you know, that came on board to use banana fiber, which is, again, still interesting. The question of why we need to use eco-friendly products, and this is just in case someone has missed out on the first part of the conversation. Why now? Why are we, because again, there's a lot of call, climate change is here affecting all of us. But the question is then, so then why? Why now? Why move towards more of eco-friendly products?
Yeah, everyone in the world is calling about climate change. Everyone is complaining because of how the environment is changing. And if we don't act now, we'll end up suffering later. So we decided, because if you look at this, over 500 million ladies will be using sanitary pads or are using sanitary pads. So if you calculate that and look, if we don't use the eco-friendly sanitary pads, you can just look at the damage we are causing all over. So that's why we decided it's now. Because if it's not now, when will it be?
When will that be? I hear you. All right. And of course, like we said earlier on, banana fibers and not maize stalks. Why not maize stalks? Like, I'm just curious.
Actually, we interacted with someone who is using the maize husks. Actually. Okay. But for us, you know, you concentrate with what you know.
That's
or
true.
you know how to handle.
Yeah.
So for us, it's banana fibers. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I hear you. But also, again, we talked about the hygiene aspect of the same, which is, again, it's very, very key when you're talking about sanitary towels, and especially something that's as intimate as the same. But can we compare it within the PVC sanitary towels? And of course, I know there's a number of studies that have been done comparing the two. What exactly is it that you found?
Okay, when you're doing the comparison, you'll find that the issue of plastic is still there.
Okay.
So, and that is what you're trying to move away from the plastic side to the biodegradability side and to the non-plastic side. So that is one of the things that you will find.
Yeah.
The second thing, as I had mentioned earlier, it's all about the chemicals that you're using, the scent. Those are the things that maybe not now. For some people, the reaction doesn't happen immediately. It actually happens way later into your lifetime. And you're wondering, why am I having all these sort of health side effects? Where did they come from? But some of them came from an early stage, from using the scented pads. That is why we are even advised when you're washing yourself, you just use water alone. No soap and all that, because that all involves the chemical part of the aspect. So by using non-free chemicals and all that, we are assured that your safety is what we want to bring to you first. Yeah.
All right. I'm really curious about the holes, you know, because again, there are different flows that women have. There's one group of women who have like very light flow, and then we have others who have very heavy flow. Right?
Yeah.
So, and we all know, especially when it comes to like pads, and I mean, we're talking about pads today, but there, I mean, the different other ways that we have the menstrual cups, we have the tampons, but for the pads, right? We have those ones that are manufactured for heavy flow and those ones for light flows, right? So for this case, do you consider both, or is this one type of pad and, you know, can suit any?
So for now, we still are a startup.
Okay.
So you can just start from the mountains. You have to go as a climber.
That's true.
Yes. So for now, we only have the normal part, but we are working on getting the other types of parts. But then, because we have the normal part, we will find that people tend to buy the heavier parts so that they can last with them for a longer period. But then as Ecobana, we're advocating that even if we come up with a heavy part, we will not advocate for longer usage of the part, simply because of the hygienic purposes also. Because when you use it for a prolonged duration, the bad smell, that's when it comes again. There's that issue which will be brought up again. And then the issue of infections, because the blood, when it settles for an amount of time, it starts changing and all that. So we are still advising that even when we come up with all the other ranges, we are advising people to use it between 3 to 4 hours before disposal.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Again, but then dependent on your flow, some people might actually want to change it as more frequent, maybe like after an hour or two. Depends with a person's need, but not longer than 4 hours.
Yeah.
That is just not. It's not advisable. All right, of course, the question that we asked you today, and that is, what can be done to end period poverty in the country? One person, this is Khalif Malik, says women politicians should be to build a sanitary towel manufacturing plant to subsidize the cost of the product. But I'm curious to also put this to you in terms of fine. It is very sustainable, it is eco-friendly, and that is really, really good. But then again, when it comes to solving, you know, the whole aspect of cost, when it comes to access to sanitary towels, what do you see this, into what impact and to what magnitude do you see, you know, what we have today actually happening?
Okay, first I would like call out to the government. I don't understand why we have taxation on sanitary pads.
That's true.
That's first, because this is something that is really affecting a lot. Over half population of the population we have in Kenya is being affected by this. So first of all, that's like step number one to like actually ending period poverty. Like we reduce or even eradicate
the taxation altogether.
On the taxation. Yes, and then it's a call to everyone to talk. You have like maybe a sister, a friend who is a girl, like empower, like ask, you know. I understood, we had a talk with some gentlemen and they say that most of the times it's actually even the dads who give the girls money, go and buy the sanitary pad, but he doesn't even have an idea which type of sanitary pad is being
actually the girl is using.
And even to men who have their girlfriends. Like you should be asking these things. To a dad who has a daughter, you should be asking these things. Do you have the sanitary pad? Do you have the innerwears? Can I buy? Or you just buy and bring them to them. So that's still another step.
Okay. You know, I think you... I'm about to put you on the spot, be like, hey, do you do that? No, but I'm happy you're involved in this project because really that way we get to have more, you know, men and boys also being involved. Because I think a few years ago we had this case of a young girl who actually died by suicide because, you know, other people were actually laughing at her because, again, I think had leaked, which is just sad to hear that someone losing their life for such a natural phenomenon that sometimes we have not even sometimes we have no control over. If anything, you're lucky if you have your period every single month because there's some who are not. So I'm happy that you are participating in the same. But really, there's a lot of stigma still associated with the same. So then, how do we introduce like more men? Fine, yes, you are in this participating. You're talking about dads and men, you know. Helping out in the buying, but still, when you go buy, you know how you hide, eh? It's like unaekewa na huko chini kabisa and all those things. So then, how do we help with the same? And that is ending period stigma and period shame. And I want to hear from you as a man.
Okay, if you asked me that question 4 years ago, I would be like, that's not something I can do.
Yeah, like it's like don't even talk about it.
Don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
But then through the knowledge that have been shared, especially from our chief operation officer, she has really like helped us tell us that this is the way it's supposed to be. This is how it's done. This is how it goes from step A to step Z. So the first step will be like we need to educate men. And now because we've already started venturing into that space, as men, we took it upon ourselves because we are 4 gentlemen and we said we will start empowering and or educating our fellow men.
All right.
So that's step number 1, showing them why is it supposed to be. Why it's important. You see, the reason why men are hiding it is because it's not in the open. And it's because something people want like to see. If I do that, fellow men will like tell me, what are you? Because when we started,
I'm sure you've had a lot of people
when we
say
started,
that.
walikuwa natuita hivyo wanaume wa pads. Yeah, it was. Yes, sometimes it's embarrassing when you go back to your house at the end of the day. You're like, hey, what is this I'm really doing? Yeah, you are like not. But through the talks, through the positive engagement with fellow people, through those forums for menstrual hygiene management, you get to understand the field in a better and broader way.
All right. Was it awkward, especially working with men on this project? You know, the first time, because again, like he says, it's like, you know, because there's a lot that is involved with this. So what was the first like experience working with men on this project?
At first it was difficult, especially the fact that even for us ladies sometimes to talk it out and talk about blood stains and all that, it becomes weird and some concepts are just disgusting in a way. So at first it was very weird talking to them about it, but as we went on, as we continued growing together and all that, everything had to come to the light because I mean this is a product that you're working on, so they can't work on a product that they're not aware
about.
Yes. You can't talk on something that you're not fully passionate about, on something that you don't know everything about it. So it's actually a good thing that my team was open to learning as much as some of the moments you will be talking and then they're like, oh, they're just shying off and all that. But then it was quite interesting. It's been a long journey.
What is that like one weird, okay, not weird, I know it is out of curiosity. Or you know, I just need to know and I just need to understand how this works. So do you have like that weird quote-unquote question that you got from them?
So like when we were starting, apart from manufacturing, we also talked to ladies and men about the menstrual and how to embrace it, because the world that you're going into, we want each and every person to feel comfortable. For the ladies to feel comfortable about their periods, for the men not to shy off whenever they hear a topic about periods. So you'll find that the most weird part was actually trying to explain to them the different blood colors, and what they will mean, and the different vaginal fluids, and what they mean. So that was quite a difficult topic, but we managed.
What is it that that during those moments when you were talking about this, that made you think, you know what, actually, mad respect to the women. What is that one thing that was like a light bulb moment for you?
After being explained all through the menstruation and everything, I was
Yes.
like, yani, this thing happens every month. Every month. I was like, okay. So, so yeah, that made me like really respect ladies, because I was like, wow, that's what you go through. And then there's the aspect that maybe some is not comfortable. There's the aspect some girls are dropping out of school. Yeah. So a lot happened. So I was like, okay, yeah. Ladies, you are.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
So now, can you go to the shop and comfortably buy a pad and now sifungiwe? Okay.
Yeah.
And walk with it.
Yes, Sindioi. And I can work with it. Sindioi.
I was like, Dioi.
Yeah.
And work with it. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing to really have as many men being involved into creating awareness, first of all, on number one, the whole aspects of, you know, the menstrual cycle. I think that is the good step to start, and then, you know, all those things that happen even after, so that, again, if we can really reduce the aspect of stigma and shame that is associated, with the same. So looking at the world in the next, let's say 5 years from now, because like we said earlier on, it's like killing three birds with one stone. The fact that, yes, you're creating something to end period poverty, but also at the same time something that is sustainable, friendly to the environment, but also creating employment, which is a good thing. So to the young people, and I'll let you speak to the employment side, but then again, looking at this world, let's say 5 years from now, what do you want to see, especially when it comes to the environment, the products that we use, and what it does to the environment?
Okay, so in the next 5 years, we hope that each and every person will have embraced Ecobana, and people will just be seeing our pads on the shelves and picking them up and using them, because when we do that, then we have dealt with all the environmental issues in concern to plastics and deforestation. And also in the next 5 years, I look forward to seeing more men, not just my team, going to the supermarkets, picking those boxes, cheerful and all that, no shame at all. I'm looking forward to seeing more people embracing period and girl child, of course.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And of course, preaching, you know, the same in that is reducing the shame when it comes to periods, you know, and all those things. All right. And for you as well, and I just want to understand, especially from an employment, you know, point of view, what is it that you look forward to see a few years from now?
Okay, like in the next 5 years, I want maybe to receive a call and be told that your products have successfully arrived at Johannesburg, or maybe at Abuja, or maybe even outside Africa.
That's like that.
Yeah, and now in that regards, you'll have created tons and a lot of employment, because you see, from getting the trunk, the trunk from the farm to our reaping station, manufacturing all that, distribution, the sales, the marketing, it will create a lot of employment opportunities. So that's what I'm really looking at, because right now if you tell someone, a teen right now, wake up, go and do something, he'll be like, maybe if he's not in school, let's say he's on a long holidays, like, why am I waking up? Where am I going to? What am I going to do? Let me sleep.
I'm still a child.
I'm still a child, you see.
Still in school.
Yeah, but now if you give them something to do, he'd be like, I have like a pickup to transport maybe from Mombasa to Kisumu. So he'll have to wake up and do that. Yeah.
All right. So create employment, and of course get many people involved into the same. All right. So you said this is just a prototype, right? So what are some of the things that maybe you saw during, you know, the trial and testing and all those things that you feel, you know what, we actually could improve here and there? What are some of those things?
Currently, we're still taking people's advices. We're still looking forward to making our product even better, so that when it hits the market, people have the best product ever. So we are looking into other solutions also, but they should not be involving chemicals and all that, because they're also looking for the safety of the girl child.
All right, but of course there's the question of, because most of the time people would use all these chemicals to at least preserve the life sort of the pad. So you might find one that can last 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. But for your case, when it comes to the longevity of the same? What does it look like?
For our case, as long as water has not been involved and you have not yet used your pad, it can stay for long. But the moment that it's wet, that is when the decomposition starts.
Oh yeah.
So before
100%.
that, it's totally safe for you to use it.
All right. Okay. So then, when do we expect to see full manufacturing of the same? Because like, as we're gonna pesa. I'm just kidding. But when do you look to start? Like fully processing, manufacturing.
Okay,
business.
already we've started like the basics, like let's say we've already, we are at point A, we're already tackling point A. So let's say in the course of next year, we'll be somewhere, we'll have moved maybe from A to B, C, D. We will like have steps that we can show that we've moved. We have tracked, yeah.
Okay, all right. Can we put it to task? I know it's still a prototype, but I'm just curious to see how it holds. Sure. So can we do that? Do you want to? Okay, all right. So we have some bit of water. So we're just gonna pour the water onto the pad, and then I have some like a piece of paper here just to see how well it holds, so we can try that. So do you want to do the orders, or should we should we let him do it? See, we're trying to involve the men. Okay, no, it's all right. So Kylie, you want to take us through that process?
Sure.
Okay.
So so if you can notice, we are actually not using the normal.
Yeah, can I have one actually to just hold? Okay. Oh yeah, this actually feels different, and I don't see any, and especially for the outside lining, where most of the time we usually see a lot of again the material, like I don't know whether I call it PVC, at the back, but this one actually doesn't have. Or is it somewhere pokatikati imefichwa? I mean, we don't want to
We were trying to avoid the issue of
you
having two types of panties. When you're in your periods, you're wearing one type, because after your periods, it will be stained with the PVC and all that. So we were trying to come up with something that you can use your panty all the way, from your period to your normal day life, without having to feel uncomfortable about the panty.
All right.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. All right. So, and then even on the side, like on the wing part, I can see it's not huge, like the others that we see in the market. All right. Okay. All right. So you had to take us through the process, so I'm just gonna let you as I interact with this. Actually, it feels really different. Okay. Oopsie. Okay. Don't worry about creating the mess. It's all good. It's all good. Let's move the box so that you have proper space. Yes, you can stand. It's all right. It's all good. Okay. All right, and then just have some bit of water, and then see how that actually holds. She's scared to create a mess in the studio. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about that. Okay, so take us through, the whole process of the absorbency that people talk about, and all those things.
Okay, so you'll find that right now I've just finished, and yes, so you'll find that a lot of it has settled actually.
Yeah.
And when you come on this side, it's if you touch like on this other side,
I'm gonna do it for you because
on this side mostly, you'll find that there's no water on that side.
That's true.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Oh wow! You know what? This is actually a good thing. No, seriously, there isn't. And this is a good thing. And this is just the prototype.
Yeah,
this is just the prototype. Wow. Okay. This is amazing. See, I don't know if you can see. So this is me trying to see how well it absorbs. See, literally nothing. This is good, guys. Good job.
Thank
wow.
you.
Okay. Because a lot of people would say, you know what, because we don't see any of the plasticky material on this, because this is supposed to be the back, right?
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that it does not leak in any given way. So pass the test. Pass the test. It's completely dry. Good job, guys. Good job. All right. So you said what? In the next year, we should see this in the market. If we don't see it in the market, then we will come for you. So we know where you, so we know where you guys stay. We will absolutely come. We'll absolutely come for you. All right. So as we bring this to a close, because we literally need to wow, we literally need to end the show right now. I know it's like, you guys get out. Okay, so let me start with you. What would be your parting shot really in terms of, all this collective effort just to make sure that we end poverty in the country, period shame, period stigma? What would you say?
Calling out to everyone, this is a responsibility for each and every one of us to take care of the girl child.
Okay.
In terms of when it comes to period shame, it's high time that we stop period shame and all that, because I mean, it's not like we wanted it to happen, but then it's here with us. So there's nothing much you can do about it apart from embracing it. So I'm calling out to each and every one of you, let's embrace the girl child, let's embrace ourselves when we are on our periods and all that.
I love that. I love that. All right, Brian?
For me, first I'll say that in this life, you will not always get what you want. Yeah, because since we started, we never knew that we will get here, but through the commitment, the determination, we are now here. And actually, a lot is required of us than before. So first, you will not get always what you want. Then number two, this specifically to the youths, let's accept that the nation needs us, and it's up to us to form the future, because it's our future literally lies in our own hands. So by the moment you say that, I'll start doing that tomorrow, tomorrow we'll get there, then you'll be like, no, let me do it the day after tomorrow. So let's just accept to be who we are, and if you have an idea, just accept to venture on it. Yes, you may be talking about capital, you may be talking about a lot of things, but just try to focus on it and just give it attention. Even if you see it's not going anywhere, one day it will get you somewhere.
It will get you somewhere. You never know. I mean, you might win $1 million. No, I'm just kidding. But still, I mean, hey,
It's
okay,
an option.
right? It's an option,
it's
but
still there.
but of course, all towards again creating a solution to a particular problem, at the same time also again minding the environment, because at the end of the day we need to protect our environment. All right, so we have to end it here. Kaylee Ogola as well as Brian Dungu, thank you very much, all from Ecobana. Appreciate your time, all the very best. We expect to see this product as soon as possible in the market, but also thank you so much for staying with us. I know time is not on our side, we could not go through all your feedback, but of course keep the conversation going on our social media platforms. My name is Uni Lubembe. Have yourselves a good one. I'll see you tomorrow morning from 8 to 9 a.m. Until then, stay safe. God bless.